All right, back with another episode. This one is Escapism and Gaming, imaginative entertainment offering temporary relief. All right, let's go right into that.
All right. Take me away.
What is escapism? All right, let's find out.
Wikipedia defines escapism as the avoidance of unpleasant, boring, arduous, scary, or banal aspects of daily life. It can also be used as a term to define the actions people take to help relieve persistent feelings of depression or general sadness. In simpler terms, escapism is a process by which one tries to avoid uncomfortable feelings and situations. Examples of escapism will be something like this: a depressed person who drinks every day to numb and avoid the pain of sadness. Or a person who gets fired results to playing video games.
It's so funny they talk about the video games because that's the part I'm adding to this. A lot of my stories will be the gaming aspect of it. So yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay,
I think it's a big one, is the escaping into gaming.
8 hours a
I
day
could see that
to
too on
escape
my
from
part too. So yeah.
Yeah, and plus
Video games.
it's so popular now.
the fact that they will now have to get a
big
new
time.
job. Now that we know what escapism is, let's take an in-depth look at the reasons for why this happens and how to overcome it.
Why does escapism happen? It's because the world's a scary place. I think.
Right. I was gonna say, right? Yeah.
A quote from Alan Watts can help us.
Great man. Love
There he
this
is.
man. Great guy. Love him.
My man, Alan Watts.
If you don't
Yes,
know,
brilliant.
please go listen to him. Get the ones where they got the music with them. It's probably some of the best.
Yeah.
Best-
They're my favorite ones too.
Your time is well spent. Go on a walk, go on a ride, go do something, and listen to him with some good music, and it's good.
better
Big
to
time.
understand why escapism happens. Quote, "It makes no difference whether I do or don't do. I am still, compulsively, helplessly seeking a result." Now this is an immensely important discovery, for it means that I have found out what my ego actually is, a result-seeking mechanism.
Okay.
Why is
A
Oh, that's brilliant.
result-seeking mechanism. Yeah, I could see that.
Result-seeking mechanism. I
Yeah.
really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
this
summary.
quote so important? It's because it reminds us that we are always taking actions to get results. Another way to think of it is this: humans are hardwired to escape from unpleasant things and seek good ones. When we are feeling down, sad, or any other unpleasant emotion, our initial reaction is to seek a result in which this feeling goes away, or to replace it with a good feeling. In our world today, this is an extremely easy task. Usually, this emotional result is dopamine, which is the feel-good chemical of the brain.
100% dopamine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually
yeah,
this
big time.
dopamine is from something like TV, alcohol, drugs, etc., all of which are instant and endless forms of pleasure. So what is the
Social
problem with
media.
this? It makes us feel good.
It's a digression. You're if you do it
Yeah.
enough, you're digressing. You're hiding. If you're binge watching Netflix and you're watching like 3 seasons and you're not going to your appointments and you're not it can really
it's
lead to
true,
a bad
right?
place,
Yeah. You can start going down a pretty dark, like what can be an innocent distraction for a little while can, for some of us, or many of us, myself included, quickly become
an obsession. In
a
my
little
opinion.
more.
Yeah, a lot more.
Yeah,
Like an
an
absolute
obsession is a good.
like addiction to like playing Call of Duty or
Or an addiction.
Fortnite
Yeah.
or some new RPG where you want to like level up. So we'll get into that.
There is no problem
Yeah.
with these things specifically, but if you are relying on pleasure from an instant, endless stream, you will make a habit of never doing what will actually solve the problem, going through the emotion and feeling it completely.
There you go.
This-
There you go. It's the avoidance of dealing with the problem and facing it
Yeah.
head on and solving it, because a lot of times your problems can be solved a lot easier than you imagine them to be. People like
That's so
catastrophize
true.
their problems, and then like you go to do it and it's done in
Yeah.
5 minutes or 10, and you're like, oh, I thought I'd be on the internet for an hour searching and filling out forms, or I thought I'd have to drive to this
Right.
location instead I only have to drive here. That kind of stuff.
is the definition of
Yeah,
escapism.
very true.
An easier way of putting it is this: Unpleasant emotions cause you to seek the hit of dopamine to take away the pain or uncomfortableness of the emotion itself, when in reality, the emotion is something we need to feel and go through to truly be happy.
All right. How to overcome escapism.
Oh, this will
Way
be
to
good.
overcome escapism. By living in a way in which you don't seek emotional results, and you
Okay, so you don't want emotional results. Okay.
accept what is happening to you no matter what emotion. By living in a way in which you fully feel every emotion that comes into your being.
Yeah, it takes a lot of bravery, though. It takes a lot to sit around and be like, I want to feel everything today. You know, like most people don't want to feel everything at all.
It's true. Despite, whatever mindfulness activity I'm engaged in, or I'm going to, really take in this moment, there are plenty of moments where I'm like, I don't necessarily want to take it all in right now. I'm going to procrastinate that feeling a little bit.
Yeah, and it's you said the other word, which is procrastinating. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Both pleasant and unpleasant. This way of living will produce a balance, which is a key to creating a fulfilling and happy life.
Sure.
That guy looks thrilled.
Yeah, he looks happy.
I like it. He's got it.
All right, short video. Good job, homie. I'll give you a thumbs up.
Very good.
Sure. So I'm gonna run in the background here some video games, just to have some B-roll. So something I want to get into.
Yeah.
Well, here, let me do this. All right, so there's some tunes on here. So the one thing I want to talk about is I did a lot of escapism younger because, I had dyslexia. I've talked about that multiple times on here. Spelling wasn't easy for me. It's still not great. I grew up before spell check, the internet, all these other things, right? Sounds so crazy to somebody who's young now, right? They're like, you didn't have these things. So I struggled a lot in school. It was very hard for me I've always been very intelligent and very talented, but I had to go into like the reading classes and all. I had to go through like these spelling class, like a lot of stuff. I was getting pulled out of mainstream to try to catch up. The biggest problem was I just couldn't spell. So it was like really hard for me to write as fast as the other students. So therefore I started, you get fifth, sixth grade, you start feeling more emotions, you start getting depressed, right? Like that teenage sort of angst is coming. And, I felt very, very inferior. I felt stupid. I felt weak. I felt like worthless. I truly felt worthless. And my parents didn't buy me a lot of video games. I wasn't some like spoiled kid. Like I got good gifts. I didn't get them very often at all. I didn't get like a brand new Nintendo the day it came out. I didn't get Super Nintendo the day it came out. I had to like figure out ways how to get these things, So I would like rent games. I'd eventually get like a console like a year or two after release. No one ever bought me for a gift a console. I always had to buy them myself. No one ever got them.
Your own console.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So every
Mm.
time, and I had to buy my games. Very rarely was a game bought for me. Games are expensive. I don't know if you remember how expensive some Super Nintendo
I
games.
actually do remember that. Yeah. Especially when you consider now how relatively easy it is to get like an 8-bit or 16-bit game.
Yeah.
When you compare it to back then when that was really expensive for its day. Yeah.
So for
it was
me,
state of the art.
so for me, as far as like the escapism, I really liked video games. I like the music. I like the art. It's probably a big reason why I like to produce this show so much, because it's like all those things I always wanted to be really good at. This kind of lets me do it all because I can truly kind of produce, and I can express myself. I can have visuals. I have you here. We have like a real like thing that we do, and it's wonderful to pull together all these desires I had to. I don't know. I always wanted to like make a video game. I'm a pretty good piano player. So games heavily influenced me. And the reason is because I was struggling in school. When I came home, I could play like Mega Man, and like I could like, I got that instant response, right? Like video games are great like that. Action games like these, every decision matters. So that dopamine is like hitting, right? And I get why people get addicted to it, because you get to be the hero, you get to be a warrior, you get to meet cool friends, you get to go so many places. And when I came up, the video game industry was new, it was emerging. And a lot of people,
right.
it wasn't cool to like all that stuff, and it wasn't what it is now. And I'm happy for the
That's a good
escapism.
point too.
Yeah, but it was a challenge because it really was from a place of like sadness sometimes, where all I wanted to do was be powerful and be a hero and be like a leader when I wasn't, you know? How about you? Do you have any
Yeah, so like I remember with me and video games, specifically the like you, I never got the console the day it came out. I was never, that spoiled. It was usually, if I don't remember correctly, it was like probably years after it would be out. But by that point, the game library was pretty good. So I did get games for like major events, maybe birthdays, major holidays.
Yeah, yeah. That's like how it was for me a little bit.
Yeah, and like a very special occasion, maybe if I did really well in school, which was not the case with me in primary school necessarily.
Right.
I didn't start getting better at school till maybe high school, when I thought, oh man,
Yeah, this matters.
finally I have to get my life in order,
Right.
But the games for me were a form of escapism too, because I felt like with my own struggles for what they were in this game, all I had to do was learn the pattern. And I found with certain games like Mega Man, I'm thinking Super Mario 2, Zelda, even if I learned the pattern, I could be good at it. And as I got better at the pattern, it was just felt so good to be,
Felt so good.
I'm like really good at this. Yeah. Like, and plus we get into the Super Nintendo and Genesis eras,
man.
the music was awesome.
The music was phenomenal. The Super Nintendo music is magical. And it certainly had a reason why I picked up a keyboard. And when I play the keyboard, I play piano very well, like regular piano, but I like strings. I also play the strings. And this is absolutely an influence from Final Fantasy 3, which would be 6 in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Japan 6, right? Yeah.
That has my, that made me want to play more synth strings on a keyboard. Because like, it was all over that console. And that music is phenomenal.
I was going to say, you're right. The Final Fantasies, like, we know in North America, is like 3. I don't know, wait, I'm getting confused. 2, 3. Where in Japan, it'd be like, what, 5, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, yeah.
The music was just phenomenal. 7, I thought was good too. PSX. But the music was phenomenal. Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
I
of
remember
course.
being awesome.
I remember I bought Chrono Trigger because I had a job, right? And it was like 60, 70 bucks. And I remember when I got that game, I went and played it. And I was like, this is the best RPG I've ever played in my life. It was the story was so excellent. And there was no like internet, right? So like things were a big surprise.
Oh, that's right.
And I didn't share my experience with a family member or a friend. I usually played video games alone. And I got to tell you, those are some of the best memories I have. I don't remember what else was going on in my life, but I probably was annoyed in a lot of ways. But when I was playing Chrono Trigger, I was on a real adventure, and I was making friends, and I was like really living an amazing life in this game, you know? Oh,
you were like really it, right? Yeah,
I was
remember
the guy.
too. Like I remember Chrono Trigger was so cool. Like I played that on my own mostly, and as years went on, and I got like I think it was the PlayStation 2. I never got the PSX. So speaking of years waiting for consoles, got the PS2 because it had both the PSX and the PS2 games, the PlayStations. So I was able to I remember playing a lot with my younger cousins who were getting into video games at that time. And we played games like Dark Cloud and The Simpsons Taxi and all these Tekken, I think.
I still play Tekken to this day. I play that game for 31
Oh, yeah,
years.
so you know it.
I still play
Better
it.
than me.
Man, better than you.
I remember like loving the characters. Like of all those games, I remember liking the characters. Again, the music.
Yeah, the Tekken characters are great.
Better.
I am an
So much fun.
excellent Tekken player. I'm fantastic. Most people can't beat me. You can't. I'm like entry level professional. I'm a Tekken king, which is like entry level, extremely high Tekken. And yeah, I'm a monster. Like it's like playing chess. Like I know how to play chess like pretty high. I'd have a high like whatever 1200 or 1300. and you would have like a whatever you start with, like the monkeys would be like 800 or whatever.
Like the checkers. You know, that is very fairly accurate. Yes.
And it's nothing
I was
against
probably
you.
pretty bad.
It's just that Tekken
You know?
has each character has 100+ moves. So like, and there's 40 characters in the game.
Yeah.
You're talking about thousands of moves and hundreds of matchups, right? And I know a lot of them. So
Yeah.
Tekken to this day helps me really express myself, and it gives me this competitive nature that is just awesome. I mean, Tekken 8 kind of annoys me in a lot of ways, but there's this thing, man. I just love the competition. It's so great, and it's such a high level. It really is.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it.
That's cool. Yeah.
But
And that's the thing. Like, I think some escapism is normal and healthy.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
actually can be nice, because I was inspired by some of these games. Well, I want to be that character.
Yeah.
Not literally. I'm not going to run around with a sword traveling
like,
through time.
Look at
But-
cosplay. You're talking about cosplay wasn't a thing when I grew up, but people literally come together and dress like these
Oh, that's
characters.
true, yeah.
You know?
You dress like the characters now.
Yeah.
I've gone to the I forget what they call it here in Philadelphia, but they have a convention, and it features like video games, anime, manga,
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah, I know exactly what you're
science
talking
fiction.
about.
It's kind of all rolled into one, right?
Yeah, it's at the convention
It
center,
was
right?
so wild to see. Yes, it's
Yeah.
at the Pennsylvania Convention
Yeah.
Center, and it's so wild to go in there and see everyone dressed up, or some people dressed up as these characters, like bringing
Yeah.
them to life. Not something I was used to seeing growing up. So
No.
it's kind of cool to see.
When there's the next one, if you're around, we should go to it. I always wanted to go to one of them.
We should.
Yeah,
we should.
I-
I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Last time I was there, like, and I have some friends and coworkers who go too.
I was actually,
Yeah, it's a lot.
I
Of
was
fun.
very close to it one day. It was happening, and I was at the Reading terminal across the way, and I was like getting food there, and I saw
okay.
the funniest
Yeah,
thing was
that's
I
right.
saw these two people get dropped off. They were probably young, like early 20s, but whatever. The one girl was some Mortal Kombat character. I think
Yeah.
she was Scorpio, and the other guy was like Sub-Zero. I was like, oh,
Oh,
shit, there
right.
they are. That was so cool.
See,
was
so,
cool.
oh, that's cool. Yeah. See, that's what's fun to see. Like when the couples too, if they're, I'm assuming they're couples,
Yeah.
they'll dress up as, join characters like, Ranma and Akane, or like, whatever, Scorpion and Sub-Zero is a good one.
Yeah. No, it's funny. One
Ninja
thing I wanted to
Turtles. I've
say.
seen everyone. Star Trek characters.
It's funny you mentioned earlier you play with
Yeah.
family and all. And I'll share this because it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But so when I grew up, right,
Mhm.
I like to play video games. So I had an older brother, and my older brother he was a nasty teenage kid. He had a bad attitude, and he liked to bully, and he liked to hit, and he was a real fucking dick to be around and play video games.
He was
So like we would rent
Yeah.
games, and he would immediately turn into a bully, and like he wasn't a big guy, he was just an asshole, and like we would play like more Metal Gear together, and like by mistake I touched the Nintendo,
Oh, yeah.
and he'd like punch me in the head, and then he was very
man.
abusive,
Yeah.
and he was a real piece of shit when we used to play video games, and I never liked him for that. And it's funny, we would play fighting games together as we got older, which is like we would fight more like digitally, but when he was like 15, 16,
Right.
I really hated being around him, and I liked to play video games, and he would ruin my time playing video games because he was such a dick. And he intentionally liked to
That's a shame.
hurt.
Yeah.
He intentionally enjoyed bullying me. He liked hurting me. He liked making me suffer. And I never knocked him out, but I mean digitally I did in Tekken, and I forgave him a lot for that. And I the way his brain works, I don't even think he like thinks about it like that. But he was a real piece of shit to me a lot. Him and my
Right.
cousin, they sucked. So eventually when they left, like he went and got married at like 20 and had a kid. So like he I don't know what that, anyway, he was,
Oh, he was.
I was so happy
Yeah.
when he was gone because he wasn't fun to be around. He ruined my gaming experience. Right. And I was like younger than him too. So he
Yeah.
was bullying a little kid and like enjoying it. And then my friends would come over and he tried to like hit them and like attack them. He was such a piece of shit. So eventually when
Hey,
he
that's
was,
a shame. Yeah.
oh, it is a shame. And my parents never did anything. They just let him be like a piece of garbage. And then he eventually got some girl pregnant, like 19 or whatever. Like he's fine now, but he was a miserable, like nasty kid when he was in his teenage years. And I just love when he was gone, I was able to play games without him because it was so much better to go on these adventures without some oppressive person who's trying to like fight you because the controller is like not the way he left it or something like that. It was like he was like an abusive parent. he was like an abusive parent basically, and my parents would just let him
That's a shame.
be
Yeah,
a complete piece of trash. And I
just
was
let him
so
get
happy
away
when
with
he
it
was
kinda,
gone.
right? Which
And it
is
was,
frustrating.
and I think it
Yeah.
happens a lot with gaming. I think people do bully with the games. So now online, verbally, but I think a lot of people growing up, kids fought a lot over video games. And he caught me at a time where like
Yeah.
I was like 13, he was like 15. It makes a big difference then. And
Yeah, it does. That's a pretty big gap in age gap at
and
that time.
that
Yeah.
one's a big one. And I expressed that because he really was like an awful person to be around. And I was really happy when he was gone. And he's fine now, but like he was nasty and he enjoyed hurting people. And I do remember that part of playing games as a kid, having to deal with his dumbass, you know?
I remember like too, like because my cousins visited, and I think I was the only one with the PlayStation 2 at the time. I think memory's a little fuzzy, but when they came over, like I had plenty of time playing it myself, so I let them play whatever games. And what was
Nice.
fun is if it was one of those multiplayer games like The Simpsons Taxi, I used to get half my enjoyment about trying to imitate the voices of the characters. They would have these like catch lines. You jump into like Homer's or Marge's car,
Yeah.
or whoever, and they would have some catch line, and I'd try to imitate it, and we'd all laugh and get a kick out of it.
See, you're a good
We would be
family
competitive
member.
with it too.
No,
Yeah, I tried anyway.
See, my cousins were
I like
all.
to think so.
I'm the youngest of all my cousins, and then half of my cousins are in a whole other country. So like they weren't around.
Oh right.
So my whole other half of my grandparents were in another country. So all I had was one cousin around my age, and he was like butt buddies with my brother. So like those two, like they had a great time not including me in things. And then like I said before, my brother acted like an asshole. And then my other cousin, he was all right, but he was butt buddies with him. So I never had a good friend growing up.
Yeah.
You know? And it sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Because,
Excluding you was like how they.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just that's bad.
Yeah, and they were dicks about it, and it's funny because it is attached so much to gaming because it was something I wanted to do. And then
it's true.
My one friend came over one time, and then they were harassing him, and they were saying he was slow and called him retarded. Like they were garbage people, and that just really.
Oh my God, they treated him badly. They treated your friend badly too. Come on,
my brother treated everybody badly. He went to and I shit on him a little because he deserves it because like he went to Catholic school and he really was a nasty kid, and he just would mistreat people all the time who were weaker than him, and I always thought he was pathetic for that. And it feels good to say it. I know him now, but like he for so long was unchecked and all over games. Like he was so nasty. And I know this is a thing that happens to other people with video games too.
Yeah,
especially back in the day.
It happened to me too. I remember being bullied over video games at other people's house, like friends of family or whatnot.
There you go.
And then, the fight, so it is starting to come back to me now. It wasn't all hearts and flowers and good times. Yeah, they were. Granted, they may not have been family members, but like friends of family or whatnot. And the bullying and the fighting over the games, and it was.
Did you get hit? Did you get struck? Did they these kids were nasty back in the 80s and 90s?
I remember some kids getting pretty nasty.
Yeah, they were nasty.
I remember some getting pretty nasty. They'd throw the control at you. Like if you were doing well, they would hit you to try to distract you when it was your turn too.
Yeah. Or
so,
they pull the thing out.
Like Super Mario Brothers.
Remember they pull the controllers out all the time.
They pull the controller out. Yeah, they'd hit the reset button. Like there's all kinds, and of course, I would take that kind of personally. Like it was all. It's like, come on.
I tell you,
it was. You're right. It came out over the video games.
I only have one child, but if I had two and I saw them fighting each other, I swear I'd pick them both up and like dangle them, and I'd be like, you two work together like you're in the Avengers. You never fight each other. You work together. And if I see you fighting, I'm going to beat both of you up because I can do that for a while until they get bigger.
Yeah.
I'd be like, my whole thing I'm stressing is I want you to be a team. Like you guys are brothers or whatever. You guys work together, Yeah.
You
watch each other's
I can
backs.
say that my parents, aunts and uncles, they were pretty strict about that. At least they would, you're not going to be fighting each other over a video game. Like to them, it was ridiculous. So you're going to learn to share. You're going to learn to work together.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, your team. and it's, me and my immediate family plus like extended. Yeah, and it was that. I guess I was lucky there. But of course, once you're outside that little kind of enclosed little world of sorts,
Yeah.
you have to, everyone's a little different, right? And so you're gonna run into your bullies, and your
Yeah,
bar.
the person I got bullied by the most was my brother, and he did it at a weird time when like I was the weakest because like he was
Yeah.
physically bigger than me,
Yeah.
and he was really nasty
Oh, right.
about it. He's never apologized, and the way his brain works, he would just be like, "Oh, I didn't even know, I wasn't, I don't, like he's always like he's never. I don't think
He's not really
I don't think his brain really works in a way where he understands people's emotions.
You're probably right about that.
I don't.
Yeah, he
He's
probably doesn't have that.
yeah. I think that there's a little bit of autism in there, in my opinion. And somebody who hears this might be like, yeah, and he hates his brother, but at that time, I didn't like him at all. I thought he was horrible, and he ruined my gaming experience. And he would dominate and bully, and nobody would check him on it. He was terrible. And it's nice that I can come on here and say these words because, like, he's an old man now, so like it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
He has his own life, but he was a real piece of garbage. And I'm saying this for all the other people who played the game who had to deal with some asshole cousin or some bully brother. And it's not fair, dude. Like parents should step up and contain that. And when you don't, I think it's sad, and you should. It's pathetic.
It is. I agree with you on that.
Be the adult in the room because you are the adult in the room. Yeah.
Yeah. If you are the adult in the room, please, for the sake of everyone in the room, act like the adult in the room.
Yeah. If you see somebody who's 12 getting bullied and annoyed and tortured by like a 16-year-old, you need to walk up to that 16-year-old and you need to talk to that person real close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And make sure it don't happen.
Right.
And it's funny. It's probably why I still play Tekken to this day, because it's a fighting game, because all I wanted to do was fight everyone and dominate them. And still to this day, fighting is I love fighting. And I think it had a lot to do with being the weak, small one who had to endure this. And I still don't physically fight people, but I think about it a lot.
Yeah, right. It's not like,
man.
It's true. I feel like I have in a similar way, I liked the games. I was old enough to kind of handle it. So I know, like Mortal Kombat at the time, which at the time was like, oh my goodness, the violence in video games.
Yeah. I remember that.
You probably remember the outcry. But I'm like, I know that going around ripping people's heads off literally is not how one should behave.
Yeah.
Like we're well adjusted enough to know that.
Yeah.
But in the world of the game, it just felt kind of good to be able to,
to dominate.
I can crush it, and I can all these secret moves and these martial arts powers and stuff. I got a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's one thing too. We're talking about console games. I'm talking about bullying and people being aggressive. The arcades were, I know notoriously, that's where people, skateboarders would go. They'd be fighting all the time in arcades, over Street Fighter 2, over Mortal Kombat, like. Those people,
forgot about that.
Man, that was a whole other monster. All I had to deal with was my mean, evil brother, and my annoying cousin. Man, you went there, people were looking for it. They were in gangs. They were, like little like skater gangs or like hood gangs or like.
I forgot about all that. You're right, though.
Probably because you didn't deal with it that much. You probably didn't have to go to the arcades very often.
Not really that much. Yeah, like if I'd go like at the mall, it was like for a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
It was like a half hour.
No, I'm talking about the pizza shop in like Brooklyn. I'm talking about the pizza shop in like Yonkers in like the 80s.
I've been to the pizza shop in Brooklyn too. Yes, they're mean out there.
In the 80s. And like, man, you look at somebody sideways or put your quarter wrong on a Street Fighter 2 cabinet.
Yeah.
So I understand it's like a universal thing. And it's even worse now. Like I know like when people play Fortnite, like the way they talk on there, like Xbox is always banning people. Like gaming brings the worst out of people. Competition brings the worst out of people.
It's like those, no matter what kind of forum you're on, or even like a live video game, like the keyboard jockeys, when they're behind that keyboard, they feel like, oh, they're really tough.
Oh, yeah. They're horrible.
You met them in real life, probably not so much.
The amount of cursing that they do on there too is just insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And that's why I like to play Tekken. I'm so good at that game that you have to be pretty much like an entry-level professional to beat me. That like when most people talk smack, you can't beat me. Like you can talk as much as you want. I will straight up just destroy you.
Yeah, you'll
And
take you'll
that's why I love being
you'll
great at
show 'em.
that game. People will send me messages,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, they don't even send me messages because they get destroyed. Like I just blow
It's probably
everybody
like-
out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I could probably take this guy. Then you take him out, like, and it's like, yeah, I can't even
Yeah.
like face.
Well, my
myself.
rank alone, when they see it, they're just like, oh, one of you guys is here. You know, like it's
Yeah,
entry
yeah.
level, like high level Tekken. And for some weird reason, it has a lot to do with that, the part I expressed to you about the bullying and the, you know, because like, I think it's so messed up when you're a 12-year-old kid and you got kids bigger than you that just want to like mess with you. Because I never got to be the bully.
Yeah.
I never got to do that. And I still don't
You know,
bully.
yeah.
So like, I just can't imagine doing it because like, it must feel good when you're around a bunch of dickheads who just want to like beat up little kids, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can relate. Certainly, I was bullied a lot in by others in school,
That's crazy.
and so the video game certainly served as an escape. And it's interesting how we can take that and channel it in a certain direction. In my case, it was kind of ironically, I guess. And I say this with all due respect, I became more nerdy in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
I said, well, if I become super smart, no one can bully me then. At
yeah,
some
yeah,
point,
yeah.
you know, it's kind of
true.
weird irony to that too. In a way, it worked out because I said, well, I want to be good at life, and I didn't have much to go on, so I'm told that studying a lot will make me good. So I'm going to study what I want to
Excellent.
study.
Excellent.
And then, you know, world affairs caught my attention, and
Yeah. And then
you
you
fast
started
forward,
getting around other people who were academics and cared about that same type of thing.
yeah,
That's wonderful.
Becomes
Yep.
like a self-fulfilling, yeah, and you start to, oh yeah, these people seem to care and they value that. So yeah, that'll be my crowd. And then, oh cool, they like certain video games and they like maybe anime or they like whatever it is. They like world events
Yeah.
as I do. And you just kind of, yeah, you grow from there.
Yeah.
And then when,
Bullying absolutely shapes you in a certain way. And I don't know what it does to the actual bullies. Usually they're I don't know, they burn out a lot of times. But like, I don't know, some people carry a chip on their shoulder their whole life and it's kind of pathetic. And I don't know.
Yeah.
If you mistreated people, you should apologize
I knew
to
a
them.
guy like that. He carried. Yeah, I think they should. I knew a guy who bullied me. We were adults, so you know it goes
Wow.
on forever, right? He bullied me at work, and eventually I left. I left that job. I got a better job. I'm very happy where I am now. Well, I happened to run into him, and it was interesting. We had a very friendly conversation. I said, I'm not gonna, you know, it's whatever. You know, he was a bully, but he's not, as long as he's not bullying me now.
Right.
But I let it go, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna talk to him like a normal human being. I really don't think he remembered. I don't think he had any idea
Nah.
that you know, it sort of was a very real example of bullies not having any clue that how they affected.
Well, yeah. What your trauma
that bully.
might be, he might just
it's
call.
just hilarious. in a
He
way.
calls Wednesday, right? Like he calls it just day of the week. You know?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like, and he certainly was suffering in his own way. You know, to be fair, I think it's fair to say. But yeah, there he was, and so it's funny how the bully will probably never apologize, and you know, at this point.
You know, it's a
Many years have
shame.
gone by, so it's not like
It's a shame. I always wanted my dad to play games with me, but he never had any interest. And my mom could have cared less too. So it would have been nice if they did. My son, he just turned 2, and I'm very happy to say we play games together and we have a wonderful time.
Oh, that's nice.
We
That's
play
nice.
Spyro the Dragon Reimagined, so it's got all 3 games.
Oh yeah.
He loves that. We play Goat Simulator, which he really likes, and he's starting to know Tekken a little bit. And he calls Tekken, he calls it mean. So you know when you're being mean, we call Tekken mean because you know you hit people, you know. So I'll turn it on, he'll be like mean.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. See, it's like he knows that it's mean.
It's mean
to hit people like in that game.
And then he'll walk up to me.
So wild. Yeah.
And he'll hit me with his little fist. It's this cutest little thing, and he makes his face, and he goes mean, and he starts like hitting me. But I really like it. I think it's really cute. You know.
Yeah.
But I thank you for.
It's cute though, because it's like, that is.
I thank you for letting me vent about my getting bullied by my brother.
Yeah,
he never once acknowledged it. He always had a bad attitude. He was a very selfish, mean kid, very mean teenager, very pig-headed, very tunnel vision. And I've let that kid slide a lot. And I really don't hold much against him, but he's still kind of the same. He's like this guy who's like, I don't know, he's different. And it's good to say it because I hated it. I hated getting bullied. I hated that my parents didn't step up and help me when I was having a hard time in school and also getting harassed in my own home. It was really strange that nobody could step up like my father or anybody else. But with my son, I try my best to be as fair and I'm trying to be the parent and the friend I always wanted is what I offer my son.
I think that's a glorious thing. That's a noble thing because a lot of times, and I think it's a way to spin the bullying in a positive direction, like the energy from it, which is I'm going to do for others. And I always say that too. I never want to be intentionally bullying somebody else. If I say something out of turn, someone lets me know, I will apologize. I don't want to intentionally bully someone because I know how it feels.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's pretty pathetic, really, what they're doing. They're attacking smaller, younger people. They're harassing them. They're making them cry. They're bruising them, and it's just so utterly pathetic. If you want to be a tough guy, go fight somebody your age. Go do what you do, but go fight somebody who's 5 years older than you instead of fighting people who are small.
Your own size,
my God.
or bigger.
They're so pathetic.
Come on, man.
Yeah, they're so pathetic. And
it's true.
I've had other people try to punk me. I used to always let people slide or say a joke, but now I get real serious and I just people who ever sarcastic or people. I stand on business so fast with people. I've done it to about 15 people in the past 2 years of my job, and they know real quick that I'm not playing. I don't play. I tell them straight up, I'm like, yo, I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy. Don't talk to me like that. You got it? And then I swear to God, it's so funny. They never talk to me again. It's like, when you have somebody bad in your life and they owe you $20 and they never pay you back and then they're out of your life forever. That's a lot of times how people are when I've been very direct with them. They immediately are like, well, all right, I will see where he stands. And it's
true. It's true. And they know where that boundary is and they realize that in my case, I've done similar things. They know I'm not going to let you cross that again. Whoever that is, it's over. It's just either shape up or ship out of my life.
Yeah.
And they do one or the other. They either shape up or they ship out. And if they ship out, hey, cool. Hail fellow, well met. It's over.
The only time you'll see the patheticness of bullying and mob mentality is when you go out with a group of friends and you're at the bar or you're at a sporting event. You'll see it. You'll see it because people will start to pull some shit on you, and it can get violent. It can become a brawl, and it can get real nasty real quick. And I'm just saying, you gotta stand. You gotta be able to, when the time is necessary, to stand up and square your shoulders and be like, well, if I gotta call the police, I'm gonna call the police. If I gotta get the establishment to throw you out, I'm gonna. And if you're gonna attack me, I just might have to smash my elbow in your nose 2-3 times and go in my car.
It's another thing. People, if they get violent, they throw a punch. They have to expect that the person might punch back.
Please punch back.
For good or ill, it's gonna happen. People don't think.
A little advice too: if you're in that situation and it's time, hit as hard as possible. Try to punch through them. Don't pull your punches. Go as hard as you possibly can and leave. don't have to do it. So I thank you because I have a lot. My gaming has a lot of stuff attached around it. So I did want to speak about the bullying and then the unchecked, just the nastiness that I had to experience in my household because nobody wanted to be an adult in a room and they wanted to have some immature dick kid, which was my brother, do whatever he wanted to do. And he made some bad choices shortly thereafter that were repercussions of his bad attitude. Now he's fine, whatever. He's over 50, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I had to endure that shit and I didn't like it.
Yeah. And thank you for being so willing and to talk about this because I think people who have similar experiences will probably, they can know that they're not alone. You've experienced this too. And I think it's huge to be able to talk about this as you are so honestly and openly because a lot of people go through this nonsense. And, when you're the bullied, at least I can speak for myself, at least when I was bullied, I always felt so alone in it.
Yeah.
And then as I talk to others, as I become an adult and I've learned a few things, I don't say everyone gets bullied, minimize it. A lot of people do get bullied and they've gone through these experiences and it's like, oh no, I'm not alone. There are others who've gone through this or worse than me. and they've come out great for it, and they've learned a lot from it, and it's just brave to talk about it. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And so some of the bullies specifically that I dealt with, the ones that are the worst are the ones that have no emotional intelligence. They're almost like a sociopath, and they enjoy hurting people.
Yeah,
And when they hurt people, they think it's funny because they can't even understand or regulate what they're doing to people.
Yeah, they're
And
the hardest ones to deal with.
That's
I
a
agree.
sickness. That's a problem. That's a mental disorder. You know what I mean? It's something that should be addressed because it's
like
disgusting. It's disgusting. I think I did experience some of that. And it's just gross, like that whole like the sociopath that's getting along that lines, right? Not like hurting people and not understanding what pain they feel it's weird that people cannot.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, I guess that's how I know I'm don't have sociopathic tendencies, because I can't imagine not feeling something for another person, even in moments when I'm going back at people and it's justified, like if I'm defending, there's still that thing in the back of my head, just that person.
When you punch someone
it's weird
in the face, you feel their face, like you feel if they're bleeding, you see them bleeding. If they start to cry and you think it's funny, you're a piece of shit, and life will hopefully come hurt you too, and usually it does,
like life does have a way of working things out sometimes
so escapism,
I really do think that
could be a part of bullying. There's this whole connection to a lot of this feeling that you want to be strong, this feeling that you want to be a leader, that you want to be impenetrable, you know what I mean? And at least for me anyway. So I enjoyed that you let me express myself. And if somebody thinks I sound bitter, or if my brother ever hears this, I don't care. I'm telling the truth, and I don't care what you think.
there you go, man. You telling your truth, man. I think that's part of the going to previous the Eightfold Path in a way. You tell your truth at least as you see it, or at least you're not lying. So I think that's a huge thing. Huge,
you just be clear, and if people don't like it, then oh well, at least you said your piece.
Right. You said your piece. There you go.
But and with that, I thank you. That was a fun one. Thank you. You're like my therapist and my preacher. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. I appreciate that.